What's good, everyone? This is your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is what we get now. So you see the title of the broadcast. So a gentleman by the name of Deshawn Flood in Detroit, he found out some information here. And he was apparently he's been married for, at least a decade, something like that. This, from the information that I've gathered so far, things like that. Because, we're going to dive off into it. Quarters, nickels, and dimes. But this is the deal here, man. He went up to his wife's job and he unloaded set rounds at least 7 times. And Jesus, man, this is crazy out here, man. This is a horrible situation. I'm not saying that this was justified for the particular, I'm not saying it was justified, but the thing of this is it's hard not to understand. And women need to understand that when you do things like this and you engage men in children's lives and, men take their bloodline seriously out here, and this 21st century mind games and all this debauchery that's going on is causing these issues. But listen, look, man, we're about to dive off into this. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
We're following breaking news out of Sterling Heights, where police say a husband shot his wife in her work parking lot. That shooting happened at the Pomeroy Living Center on 15 Mile near DeQuinder. Gino Vici has an update on the victim's condition and the investigation.
Yeah, this is still a very active scene behind me. Take a look at this. Look at the bullet casing markings on the ground here. Sterling Heights police saying around 8 o'clock this morning they received a 911 call that a woman had been shot in the parking lot here at the Pomeroy Living Center off of 15 Mile near DeQuinder. We're told an employee was shot by her husband in the parking lot. We're told they both lived in the city of Warren and that the husband came up to his wife's employer and shot her several times. Police, thankfully, were able to respond to the scene within seconds. The wife was rushed to a nearby hospital where she is still alive. Police encountered the husband, who was armed with a revolver, and were able to take him into custody. Here is Captain Mario Bastianelli talking about the moment officers encountered the gunman.
Like I said, our officers were here, very quickly. So, which makes all the difference in the world of somebody with a gun and they're actively shooting at people. So this happened to be a targeted incident because it was a domestic situation. But you never know how these things are going to transpire, right? How they're going to work out. Officers show up, you have a guy with a gun, Does he go peacefully or does this end up, turning into a shootout with our officers? It's a, very stressful situation on everybody, including our officers arriving. All in all, a good ending to a bad situation.
Again, we're told the female victim is expected to survive despite being shot several times in the body. And again, her husband has been taken into custody. No word yet on when he could be charged. In Sterling Heights, Gino Vici, CBS News, Detroit.
Okay, so this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? It in Detroit. And we're going to keep diving because, of course, there's more. And let's go to Anton and see what he had to say about the situation.
News out of Sterling Heights, where police say a husband shot his wife in her work parking lot. That shooting happened at the Pomeroy Living Center on 15 Mile near DeQuinder. Gino Vici has an update on the victim's condition and the investigation.
Yeah, this is still a very active scene behind me. Take a look at this. Look at the bullet casing markings on the ground here. Sterling Heights police saying around 8 o'clock this morning they received a 911 call that a woman had been shot in the parking lot here at the Pomeroy Living Center off of 15 Mile near DeQuinder. We're told an employee was shot by her husband in the parking lot. We're told they both lived in the city of Warren and that the husband came up to his wife's employer and shot her several times. Police, thankfully, were able to respond to the scene within seconds. The wife was rushed to a nearby hospital where she is still alive. Police encountered the husband, who was armed with a revolver, and were able to take him into custody. Here is Captain Mario Bastianelli talking about the moment officers encountered the gunman.
Like I said, our officers were here, very quickly. So, which makes all the difference in the world of somebody with a gun and they're actively shooting at people. So This happened to be a targeted incident because it was a domestic situation, but you never know how these things are going to transpire, right? How they're going to work out. Officers show up, you have a guy with a gun, does he go peacefully, or does this end up, turning into a shootout with our officers? It's a, very stressful situation on everybody, including our officers arriving. All in all, a good ending to a bad situation.
Again, we're told the female victim is expected to survive despite being shot several times in the body. And again, her husband has been taken into custody. No word yet on when he could be charged. In Sterling Heights, Gino Vici.
So this is what's really happening in the streets. This is what they're saying is happening in the streets, all right? They're saying that this woman basically had children. They were married for at least 9 to 10 years, somewhere around a decade. And that she basically had 3 children that he thought was his, and that he found out that they weren't his. And so as a result, he couldn't take the pressure. He crashed out, and then he wound up going up to her job. And then this was what happened. He wound up shooting her. Obviously, it seems like he tried to take her out. He wasn't able to successfully take her out, which I'm not saying that he should have successfully taken her out.
Right.
Because I'm always going to stand on the whole idea that nobody should have to lose their life over a domestic violence situation. However, I understand. I can't say that I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that it should have happened. But I truly understand. And the question that I have to ask you guys is, when will women be accountable for the decisions that they make?
Listen, look.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Listen, look, man, because it gets dangerous out here. It gets dangerous out here. And it's just like the same thing for men. If we go out and we do dumb shit, it gets very dangerous for us. If men go out and do dumb things and act crazy and be in our emotions and, all this type of stuff, it gets very dangerous for us. Now, I'm with the fact, and I'm gonna state this up front, real talk. I'm not justifying what this man did. No, I'm not, because at the end of the day, though, yes, just be real with it. It should have been a little bit more emotional control. And I get it. But Jesus Christ, I can definitely understand that you are, as a man, and you love your children and stuff like that, and you get played like that with your own seed, to get played like that. It's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. And regardless of what people want to say and how they feel about the situation, it just is what it is. So we're going to keep going. Let's see what's going on here now.
So you cheat on your husband, not once, not twice, 3 times, pop out 3 kids. And in the midst of you popping out them 3 motherfucking kids, they're by one of his relatives. And in the midst of them being by one of his relatives, you've been letting this man take care of 3 kids that you knew damn well was not his. So he then proceeds to go up to your motherfucking job, pistol whip your ass with the motherfucking gun, and shoot your ass 7 motherfucking times. I think that's a very valid crash out. See, women like to tend to do this thing called play stupid games. So when a man helped them find the dumbass prize they was looking for so bad, people want to think they wrong. I don't think he's wrong. What so the fuck ever? That's a very fucking valid crash out if you ask me. Because I would have probably did the same motherfucking thing, finding out 3 kids not motherfucking mine. Have you lost your rabbit ass mind? You could have.
Yeah. Wow. She said it. I didn't. She said it. I didn't. Hold on here. Man, and see, this is the dangerous stuff this is the dangerous things that we're playing with in life right here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women don't understand this, man. And of course, in society nowadays, it's come to a point to where, you know what I'm saying, men have been so cucked out and so diminished and so oppressed and things like that. We're just supposed to take anything that the next human, give to us, whether it be male or female. We're just supposed to, be these docile individuals, not have any understanding or any type of logic or any type of, feelings about anything and stuff like that. And, for this situation to pop off, and he's been, married to this woman for a decade plus, and she played those types of games. And from what this young lady just said, also too, she also got pregnant by a whole fucking family member out here.
And what the French toast is there to
A damn family member on top of that too. Man, this is wild, bro. This is wild. What I mean. Oh man. It's getting harder and harder to justify things like this when we know that in life it's consequences to situations that you put yourself in. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be good consequences that that come back to you, or bad consequences, depending on the situations that you put yourself in on this planet. This is ridiculous right here. Let's go here now. Jesus, man.
TikTok, I'm sorry, but I do not agree with you on this one. 37-year-old Deshawn Flood out of Detroit has been arrested for attempting to unalive his wife. So Deshawn and his wife have 3 children together, or so he thought. Turns out that the 3 children belong to members of his family. And after finding this out, Deshawn heads over to his wife's job, where he sees her exiting the building and entering her coworker's car. Now, as she's entering the car, he pulls out the pew-pew and starts pew-pewing at her. Now, as he's pew-pewing, she's trying to escape the vehicle. So her and the coworker actually make it out of the car. Unfortunately, Miss Flood gets caught, and Deshawn starts to pistol whip her. Now, shortly after, the police and the ambulance arrive. The wife is escorted to the hospital, and Deshawn is taken into custody. Now, hear me out. I don't agree with him attempting to unalive his wife because I believe he deserves better. If she didn't appreciate him and all that he brought to that relationship, and she stepped out and had children with his family members, she didn't deserve him. And
that's some hard shit to gather. And not only that, shit, man. As a man. And
what the French toast is there to think about?
Ooh, wait. Dude, hold on. Big screen. This is crazy. As a man, you mean to tell me my own family member that'll betray me like that? Wow. That family member lucky. That family member fucking lucky that he didn't have enough time to get to them.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
there are plenty of fish in the sea and plenty of women who are looking for a man to build with, looking for a man to have children with, looking for a man to be their protector and their provider. And his so-called wife was not the one for him.
Right.
Sadly, this is how the relationship has ended. The best revenge is success. And that's something that a lot of people have to understand. He went to her job with the intentions of unaliving her. That means it was a malicious act. That lady is wrong, but I do not agree that he should have attempted to unalive her.
I definitely agree with that too. You know what I'm saying? No, he shouldn't have went that route. You know what I'm saying? He definitely should have tried to hold on and, gathered his emotions and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely as a man. But at the same time, though, too, I get it. Some men are not able to, in those types of moments, with that type of scenario, I could see how that would be hard for a man to gather his emotions. You know what I'm saying? You've been with this woman for, a decade, something. You have 3 children with this woman, and the whole time she's been, cheating on you and having children with other men. And then also too, not only just, outside men, she's had a child with your own family member. That means that your family member is laughing at you behind your fucking back.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Woo! Woo! Your own cousin, whatever. Your male cousin is laughing at you behind your back, and he done stuffed your wife with meat beyond God's willing. Your own cousin or brother, whatever. Because nobody's saying who the actual family member is. It could be a brother, cousin, whatever. The thing of this is wild right here. Jesus, man. Your own family member is laughing behind your back, son. Knowing that he done slathered your wife with hot fish grease.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Jesus, man. All right. Whee!
Free that man. If this story about Deshawn Hood is true, the man who allegedly shot his wife because he found out that 3 of their children were not his and instead were family members, free that man. That's a crime of passion. Hear me out. Some of y'all women will flip out when another woman texts your man.
Right.
And y'all are destroying cars and burning clothes and trying to run them over.
Ooh.
But this man finds out that his wife has cheated on him, not once, not twice, but 3 times with family members. Think about the fact that this man is at 4th of July, hosted at his house, and all of these people that are cheating with his wife are sitting at his table eating his food.
Hold on. Hold on. Big screen. I gotta do this. Is gonna be a long video right here. Hold on here. Right here. Hold on.
You old fish-eyed fool.
Man, this is sad. What did I just say? Laughing behind his back, sitting at his table, eating his food. Imagine. Cousin, brother, nobody's saying the position of the family member. Imagine they laughing behind your back. The stuffed your wife full of hot fish. Man, come on. Come on.
He is at Christmas watching his kids opening up gifts. Yeah, this was from Uncle such and such. In reality, that's from your daddy.
Stop.
The whole time, this woman is looking this man in the face. Yeah, I need you to go work some overtime because we need some back to school clothes for the kids. Them ain't his kids. I fully believe that it needs to be mandatory that we do DNA tests at birth for everybody.
Yeah.
Married, dating, hookups, everybody needs to be doing DNA tests before they sign a birth certificate. Because this is one of them situations where, very sad, the woman survived. Allegedly, she is still at the hospital recovering from her injuries. But this is a crime of passion. That man blacked out. Because I know I would.
Yeah, he definitely blacked out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, look, man. And he found out that his own family members were engaging in the debauchery. Listen, look, man. This is wild here. This is wild.
Imagine being married to your wife and you have 3 kids with her. And then you find out that one of the kids is not yours. That means that your wife cheated on you. Crazy. How about if you found out that 2 of the kids that you thought were yours are not? Your blood is probably boiling at this point. Well, guess what? In Deshawn Flood's case, this man found out that all 3 of the kids were not his. And to make things even worse, not only was this woman cheating on this man, she was cheating on him with his relatives. So the kids belong to his relatives. After getting this information, Deshawn decides to go down to his wife's job and confront her about it. She sees him coming and runs inside of one of her coworkers' car. That didn't stop Deshawn from shooting her multiple times. And when she tried to run while shot, Deshawn chased her down and pistol whipped her. After hearing the gunshot, some of the co-workers called the cops. The cops came, arrested Deshawn, and the wife made it to the hospital where she survived.
You know what? This is a dangerous game that everybody's playing out here. This is a dangerous game that some of these women can play. Of course, it's not all women. Of course, it's not all. But for the women that are playing these dangerous games, and also for the women that en masse are not calling these women out, because women talk to each other here. Let's just keep this honest. Women talk to each other. I'm pretty sure she told a friend girl something like that. She told somebody at some point that, you know what I'm saying, a friend is definitely another woman. I guarantee you. She told some other woman at some point about what the fuck she had going on, her affairs and stuff like that. She told some woman. And these women out here, some of these women out here are allowing other women to pull this dangerous game. And y'all sitting around here thinking that, you know, say definitely, you know, say now I'm not saying there's a segment of men that don't give a fuck about their children. Let's just keep this real. But for the men that do, and you want to play this dangerous game, and you want to sit here and think that this is okay, you have a huge issue. And there's karma that comes around when everybody wants to play this bullshit ass game. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Let's go here now.
None of the kids are his. I understand. I absolutely understand. Child, and people be so mad when you say, I understand something. I do understand it. Just because I understand it don't mean I agree with it. I do understand why he would go up there and want to take her glory. I absolutely understand. So 37-year-old Deshawn Flood went to his wife's job on July the 29th. He sat there and waited for her for a moment until he saw her at Pomeroy Living Facility in Sterling Heights. Now, when he spotted her, he did pull up on her and he pulled out his firearm from his waistband. And she tried to take cover by jumping in one of her coworkers' vehicles. He did shoot her several times as she was trying to close the door. He was able to stop her. She was able to run away from him and get back into the building, as well as the coworker who was not hit at all. He unfortunately was able to catch up to the wife, and he did pistol whip her at that time. He was arrested on scene, and of course he is facing charges, as he should be. But I do understand why he did what he did. They have 3 children, and he thought all 3 of those children were his, and not a single one is his. Now, I did see somewhere where it says that they are by 3 different family members of his. I hope that part is not true, because 3 of them not being his is already diabolical enough, but 3 separate family members of his, that will require a lot of therapy. So we're gonna hope not, okay? We're gonna hope not on that. Probably is at the level of the highest embarrassment that he has 3 children that he thought was his, and he should have known that they weren't his, and or he trusted her enough to believe that they were his. Now, I'm a very non-trusting person, so I don't understand trusting anybody, but I don't trust nobody. But if you have taken the time to take your vows with somebody and they produce children that you believe to be yours because that was part of the vows that y'all took together, and then you find out that they are not yours, I understand wanting to retaliate. Does that make retaliation okay? Absolutely not. But I understand it. But he is, of course, facing multiple charges. He is being held on $1 million bond at this time. Good luck to him. The wife is still recovering from her injuries. She is expected to survive her injuries, but definitely seeing therapy in the future of all 3 of those children as they learn the man that they thought was their father, who is not their father, tried to take their mom to glory.
Listen, look, this is where we at right now. Shout out to all my followers. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this broadcast here. And yeah, it's crazy, bro. This is crazy. And you know, she did bring this up on the video I'm showing you now. She did bring this up which had been talked about in the previous other videos that I showed you. The children are the ones that are going to super suffer. Their mothers recovering from the situation. Their fathers, well, their alleged father is in prison. And what are these babies going to do now? And this is what it breaks down to. Hold on here. I'm sorry. This is what it breaks down to. What are the babies going to do? What are these children going to think? How are these children going to survive? How are these children going to actually be mentally stable human beings now, knowing that this situation is going on, knowing that their uncle could possibly be their father, and knowing that their mother, and then, or either that, they could possibly, their uncles is their fathers, and their, one uncle is one child's father and the other uncle is this child's father, or this man is this child. How is this going to work, man? How is this going to work? It's the children that are going to suffer the long-term effects. Now, I'm not saying that, he was, he's not justified to get this act. I think he needed to figure out a better way. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I really think that he needed to figure out a better way. But I can understand, like the mentality, if he's not mentally there as a man. And then first of all, let's just break this down as a human being. We like to put these situations on and stuff like that. Like, oh, you're a man, you're supposed to be this and that, woo to woo, and things like that. But that's because, we as humans, we put these titles and these stipulations on everybody, on men and women, so we put these titles and stipulations on everybody, and we sit around here and think like, say, oh yeah, you're a man, you're supposed to, have your emotions under control, this and that, woo to woo, you're not supposed to do anything egregious, you're just supposed to be stoic and this and that. When people are doing you dirty, when your own family is doing you dirty, laughing behind your back, eating your food, talking shit behind your motherfucking back. This is crazy.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Where's the respect? Where's the respect?
You old fish-eyed fool.
This is wild out here, man. And then you expect human beings to keep their sanity when people have the audacity to pull bullshit like this on somebody and think that shit's sweet, like shit just don't never be found out. This not the 1960s. This ain't 1845. This ain't motherfucking 1940. This ain't none of that shit back in the day when shit like this could have, just went under the table. DNA, internet, all this shit. Y'all chicks gonna get found out here when y'all decide to be slick like this. And like I said, I'm not saying that this man was justified. Don't get me wrong. But Jesus Christ, man, when y'all gonna stop pushing the button? When are women gonna stop pushing the nuclear fucking button on men? I know society keep telling y'all women that men are soft and they supposed to be docile for y'all, and we supposed to be bitches for you, and we supposed to be cooked out, and we just supposed to pay you and do shit and woo to woo, and we ain't supposed to have no fucking feelings, and we ain't supposed to have no type of understanding, and we ain't supposed to do nothing that a natural human being supposed to do. I'm coming from a human being aspect first. Before we break this shit down to gender or any type of thing like that, I'm a human first. and you playing games with me, and you think this shit is live. This is crazy out here, man. This is crazy. Yeah, I had to hit the cup, but it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line. Yeah, man. Nah. Oh, man. Nah, man. Black people, it ain't just black people. All y'all out there, man, y'all need to get y'all relationship situations together, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy. And y'all think men, don't actually love their children. And this is what happens when men, y'all see it firsthand. This is what happens when men actually have love for their family and love for their children. And a woman decides to betray. This is what happens. Not saying that it's just, not saying that, it's good, but y'all women got to stop playing games out here. This is wild, bro.